What's up, guys? It's Josh here, back with another Kansas City Chiefs related video, and today I want to discuss the Chiefs offseason so far, as we are now a few days into free agency. So what I want to do is I want to give Brett Veach and the Chiefs a letter grade as to how well they've done in free agency so far, and you guys are probably going to be a little bit surprised by my answer. Some of you maybe not, just depending on how you feel, but I'm going to be honest. This free agency has been a little disappointing for me, and so far, I'm going to give it a D+. And some of you are going to be like, whoa, what? And I understand that, but hear me out. Look, the Chiefs, they signed Joe Thuney, and I was really happy when they did that. They signed Kyle Long, solid signing. LDT should be coming back. They tendered Andrew Wiley, so got Nick Allegretti. The interior of the line should be a lot better this year. And they brought back Mike Remmers, who a lot of you seem to have come to hate now, which doesn't make any sense to me. He was really solid at right tackle. Last year was left tackle, where he struggled in the Super Bowl, of course. But, outside of that, he was good in his role. He was just asked to do more than he originally signed up for. But you got him coming in to be the veteran right tackle, and then you got Lucas Niang, who should compete with him at right tackle. That'll give you great depth there. Great job, but left tackle, still a huge need. The Chiefs cleared out all this cap space. Wanted to use it to go get Trent Williams, the 49ers left tackle. He ended up not choosing the Chiefs, which is fine, but ever since that move happened, the Chiefs have done absolutely nothing with their cap space. They've done little moves here and there, like bring back Taco Charlton, guys like that, tendered their restricted free agents, that kind of thing, brought back Byron Pringle. I'm fine with all those, but those are internal guys that were here last year that aren't necessarily making you better in any way. The Chiefs have not gotten better this free agency. They've upgraded nothing at all besides the guard position. That's really pretty much it. They've upgraded their guard position, but besides that, they haven't hit on any of the major needs. Left tackle, defensive back, linebacker, defensive end, wide receiver. You cleared out all this money, and names continue to keep coming off the board, and the Chiefs are just sitting around, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and act like that I want the Chiefs to sign an all-pro max dollar player at every single position, but they're not even getting solid guys at the positions that they need now. Like they are missing out. They missed on Juju Smith-Schuster. I've heard nothing about them going after Kenny Golladay. I've heard nothing about them going after Justin Houston or an edge upgrade or linebacker. I've heard nothing about linebacker. They haven't brought back Damian Wilson yet, who I really want them to bring back. I'm not really sure what's going on, guys, because here's my concern. Like I said, all of those positions that I listed are still needs. Look, wide receiver. Let me just break down why the positions are needs for a second. First of all, wide receiver, left tackle, that's obvious, right? We need a new left tackle. We cut Eric Fisher. We don't even have a left tackle on roster besides like Yasir Durant, who was an undrafted free agent last year. Whatever. Wide receiver, look, Byron Pringle is a really cool story. I think he has potential, but you're talking about him being the number 2 receiver from this team. Come on, for a Super Bowl contender, no way. Mecole Hardman hasn't shown enough to be a number 2. Struggles in the X role. We've talked about it 1,000 times. This team is a Tyreek Hill injury away from trotting out Byron Pringle, Mecole Hardman, and Marcus freaking Kemp as your top 3 wide receivers. They need a number 2, plain and simple. Sammy Watkins is gone. I don't want Watkins to be brought back. He can't stay on the field. It was rumored that the Chiefs made an offer to Juju Smith-Schuster, but he opted to go back to Pittsburgh. I've got my thoughts on that. I thought that was a stupid move by him, but whatever. You missed. There was nothing you could do. But you didn't go after anyone else earlier. Now we've heard nothing about the Chiefs going after anyone else. So wide receiver remains a hole. Defensive end. So many guys are already off the board at defensive end. The Chiefs badly need a defensive end. They need someone to get pressure opposite of Frank Clark, because Frank Clark ain't getting it cut or ain't getting it done. He's not cutting it. The Chiefs are paying over $200 million total in their defensive line, and they didn't even rank in the top half of the league in sacks or run defense last year. Pretty disappointing. They need someone on the other end of the defensive line to help take pressure off Jones and Clark. Linebacker, they still need a linebacker. Willie Gay is coming along, but he still has to learn the defense. Anthony Hitchens is getting up there a little bit. Or he's getting towards the end of his contract, I mean. And he's solid, but eventually you're gonna have to replace that. And like I said, you don't have a Sam linebacker currently with Damian Wilson gone. Defensive back Bashad Breeland and Dan Sorensen are free agents. They both played a majority of the snaps last year. Obvious need there. And heck, you kind of have to upgrade there too. Maybe get a better, more athletic safety to take away the middle of the field. Although I like Dan Sorensen, I would still take him back. What am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting one. I don't know, but you guys get the point. Like, we have all these needs, right? And the Chiefs they've addressed just one so far, and that was guard. The interior looks a lot better. Right tackle too, if you want to include Mike Remmers in there. He'll be competing with Niang at right tackle, whatever. But I mean, I think a lot more people are starting to agree with me that this free agency has kind of been disappointing, which sucks to say because right after Joe Thuney, right after we signed him, this was looking really promising, and it's just taken a massive turn for the worse because we have so many needs and we're just kind of sitting around. And I'm not saying Brett Veach doesn't have a plan or anything. I don't want people commenting oh, you think you know better than Brett Veach. They know what they're doing. They have a plan. Well, they might have a plan, but their plan isn't, it's still subject to criticism. I'm sure they had a plan going into the 2018 draft. Look how that turned out. You came out with Derek Nottie as your only good player. That could be a whole nother story. And then people will tell you, well, we still have the draft. Well, guess what? You're typically lucky in the draft to hit on about 2 to 3 picks. And the Chiefs haven't even hit on their top 100 picks all that well recently. And the top 100 is very important. So like I said, defensive end is a need, wide receiver is a need, defensive back, defensive end, and left tackle. The odds that you get a day one impact starter at all those positions just in the draft is extremely unlikely, and if not, zero. Literally zero chance that happens. You're not going to get an impact player. You're at those positions in the draft. Not at every single one. You're still going to get some, but you're going to be lucky to hit on 2 to 3 of them. And the Chiefs, they got more needs than draft picks, guys. This is looking kind of disappointing. And look, it's not to say, I know the Chiefs are trying, and it's not their fault that they miss out on everybody, but they still did. They still missed out, and the problem is their draft picks in the past are the reason that they're still trying to chase down some of these guys in free agency. You've drafted wide receiver and linebacker, in the top 100 over the past couple of years, and yet they still continue to be needs because guys like Mecole Hardman and Willie Gay haven't taken those steps. Willie Gay maybe is a little bit unfair to say just because, he was only a first-year player, and linebacker is a position that, takes time to learn. I trust Willie Gay, but Mecole Hardman you can actually, criticize because, the dude hasn't taken a step. He regressed this year, or he plateaued. His production stayed the same, or he got even worse on increased targets. So, like I said, the Chiefs are the reason they're in this position now, and all that cap space that was cleared out, I'm kind of questioning why it was cleared out now if you're not going to get anybody. In addition to that, one of the guys that they cut to gain some of this cap space was Damian Williams, and I did not agree with that move at all. He saved about $2 million in cap, which isn't even really big enough to justify the player lost in Damian. And, if the Chiefs don't spend this money on someone now, and we're a week away from the draft and we still have concerns about the same positions that I just mentioned, then that's disappointing. That's a huge issue. And, people are going to be asking why'd you cut Damian Williams? Because that guy was a good player. And, you cut him for cap reasons, but the cap that you got from that you didn't use for anything. I'm getting kind of worried, and maybe I'm overreacting because it's just 3 days into free agency, but like I said, most of the players that would be considered upgrades for this team are no longer out there. Unless something drastic changes, it's hard to see how the Chiefs are going to be more talented next year than they were in 2020. It just is. How with their free agents that are currently out there, and the weaknesses they still have. it's really hard to see how they're going to be better next year. It really is, unless, the Chiefs know something about McCole Hardman or something that I don't, because it's not looking good, guys. So I give Veach the D+ for free agency so far. Look, you spent a bunch of money on a guard. I like Joe Thuney, but, what else have you done? I'm kind of disappointed, guys. I don't know how you feel. Like I said, Veach doesn't need to spend top dollar at every position and get the best guy available, but at least get somebody, I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. Let me know what you guys think, if you agree, if you disagree, but make sure you check out www.showmefootball.com for more, and check me out on arrowheadaddict.com, where I also write some pieces. So yeah, that's all I got for today, guys, but I'll catch you all later. Peace.